many people in the commercial vehicle world for their internal combustion engine wagons, but obviously they started much earlier than that, and they were very, very popular manufacturers of steam wagons. And this would be an example of an early steam wagon. The same horizontal boiler as the big traction engines, a smokestack right at the front. You can see that the wagon had a little canopy, and in full scale that would just provide a little bit of weather protection for the crew that was operating the wagon. Is another lovely example, 4-inch scale of the Burrell single-cylinder general purpose engine. What was I doing last, talking about single-cylinders, single-seaters? There we go. So again, we can see the cylinder block up on top of the horizontal boiler, smokestack in front, big smooth, spoke flywheel there next to the driver's left hand. Now, I was talking earlier and saying that these engines had a whole range of uses, hence general purpose engine. It was good to see. It's just rock that one to get it on top dead centre, and away we go. Now this one's standing on solid rubber tyres, and that's quite in keeping with the period that these wagons were being made. That's the early 20th century, late 19th century in some cases, but these were sort of early 20th century. Solid rubber tyres on steel artillery wheels, driving through to the rear axle by chain drive. These boilers have to be inspected annually by an independent, competent engineer, and that engineer will come along when the engine has been stationary for a while and the boiler's cool, so he can inspect it inside thoroughly, all the boiler tubes and the casing and all the auxiliary equipment on the boiler. And if he's satisfied with that, he'll make an appointment to come back when the owner has the engine in steam, and he will recheck the boiler under steam. A nice example of the big road locomotive. These were very often converted to showman's engines, and this one, no big dynamo one, so it's not going to be powering fairground ride necessarily. But it does have the full canopy, and this canopy does have the canvas covers, which can be rolled down at the front and all the way along the sides to protect the engine when it's parked up outside overnight anywhere. It just protects all the working mechanisms on top. Again, as a road locomotive, like the showman's engine, very large diameter wheels front and rear. This one's got a lighting set on for driving at night. It's got the big belly tank underneath the horizontal boiler. Nice flywheel there, beautifully decorated. And again, as this one goes past, you'll see just inside that near side rear wheel the two vertical rollers. That's the guide. And if you look just inboard of the near side rear wheel, you'll see where the winching drum is mounted. Used as a timber tractor, so it will be used for winching timber out and hauling timber out to forestry areas. Relatively short wheelbase, standing on these beautiful steel artillery wheels with solid rubber tyres, and chain driven through the rear axle. Horizontal boiler, I think, it's just gone past me, I think it's horizontal with a smokestack right at the front, and a decent cab on here to give some all-weather protection for the crew. It would get quite hot in there, I have to say, sat on top of that boiler near the firebox, so a little bit of ventilation is needed. But you can imagine these things were driven through blizzards and on cold, frosty days, and the rain slashing in as you went over Shap Fell with a haulage train behind you. Now, steam wagons developed, and they became very smart, smooth devices, and at the front of the design era was Sentinel. Sentinel, who produced a whole range of steam wagons, became quite famous. And this is getting towards the end of steam wagon production, and now we see it standing on pneumatic tyres. It's driving the rear axle through a prop shaft. The boiler is vertical and behind the crew, so it's just to their rear. Now, the characteristic of steamrollers. So it was the steamrollers, the road locomotives, and the showman's engines that tended to have the big smooth flywheels. Now that's interesting. That young man has just given us an indication of the audible warning that all these engines had to have. And it's a bit of mythology, I think, that steam engines had to have a man walking in front of them with a red flag. Brass headlamp rings, you can just see underneath the boiler, the glow in the firebox, below the firebox, collecting the ash as it comes past. Like the 8-wheeler, it's got the extra water tank, and that's the little power steam wagon. Many of these wagons are exported all around the world, and the little 92 horsepower is Sentinel S6, which has a deeper body on it. You know, fine work if you're sitting there towing away, powering back through those rear axles. It really is splendid sight. Built in 1924, nice big smooth rolls front and rear, again the big smooth flywheel. It's like the weather's just rolling in on us, so we'll let these lads run because a steamroller on wet grass has great problems with traction. So watch them go. And here we've got the Roby tandem roller. The rolls fore and aft in line, so a tandem arrangement. You see the big chain drive to the rear. Belly tank underneath for the extra water capacity, and the horizontal boiler just slightly tilted. Built in 1937, the steam tractor, as I say, very versatile. I was saying earlier, deceptive. And again, from Mr. Hubbock's stable, now up in Northumberland, going very nicely, beautifully turned out as ever, black with his gold and red lining on the casings and on the spokes. Versatile engines. This is the Little Foster, who worked really hard for us this morning. Between 9 and 10 o'clock, when the arena's empty and there's nothing scheduled, we try and get some of the steamers in to give rides to people, so they get the chance to ride up on the footplate. A lovely Sentinel wagon. This is a Super Sentinel from 1924 with the cab. The boiler's vertical, it's in front of the crew, smoke box, it's a firebox down by your toes to keep them warm, driving through the rear axle here. Now, why on earth would you need a man walking in front with a red flag when they can make that noise, eh?